using the Startup Tools library within Creo. So if we open our web browser within our Creo session, we can see this will open our toolbox. As the name suggests, this contains a number of tools that allows the user to select which tools are going to be useful for them. One of the tools we have in here is the library viewer. You can see as soon as we click on the library viewer how graphical the user interface is, and this allows the user to easily navigate through their file folder structure and see what parts they're actually selecting. So you can see within our library here we've got a number of start objects, we've got some UDFs, some standard parts, sketches, we've got some examples of useful parts and assemblies, and we've also got some drawing symbols, notes and formats in there as well. So if we just navigate through to one of our parts now, and we click on here, you can see as we go through the files, we've always got that icon there, so it's nice and user-friendly as we're navigating through our file folders. So if we just select the part that we want to use, and we have some options available to us with this part. So we can open that part into session, we can assemble the component, we can create a copy of it, we can assemble a copy part, and we can drag and drop that part as well. Within our library, we also have the option to be able to create configurable parts. So for example, if we just click on our start objects here and our start plate, this will give us the option here to start our configuration user interface. So if I select this here, we can see now we've got a number of dimensions that we can enter to create our start part. We can also see here that we've actually got our unique name. So if we are using a PDM system, it's going to have a unique name there in our file folder structure, so we can see which part we've actually created. So here we can enter our length, so we're just going to place 500 in there, our width, we'll place 500 in there, and our height, we'll place 50. So we've got the options to us now to save those values to file, to open the value file, or to create a new model. In this case here, we're going to create a new model. So we can see here now that we've created our part from the dimensions that we've actually placed into our configuration user interface. However, we may actually need to change that part now. So we can go back into our toolbox here using our web browser, and we can click back onto the user interface for our dimensions. And what we may need to do is change that to 50, and actually change that one to 500. We now have the option to regenerate the web code model. As we regenerate that, we can see obviously we've pushed those dimensions through and changed our model that's in the session. Once we're happy with that, we can close our web-based user interface. Along the top here within our library, we also have our fast links. So we may have a number of file folders or assemblies or parts themselves that we want to quickly navigate to directly. So here we can set up those links, and for example, if we know this file here, the separator we want to directly go to, we can use that fast link, and that will take us directly into that folder. And again, the options are there for us to then open that assembly, assemble the component, create a copy of an assembly, assemble the copy, and also drag and drop again. In this case here, we can just open that assembly up. So if we have those files that we need to quickly access, we can create those fast links available to us. On the left hand side here as well, we can also see that we've got our favourites. So whilst we're in the library, we may have to or may need to use another tool of the Startup Tools collection, and we can go and select that tool as quickly as one click down the left hand side. Whilst we're in the options here, we've got in our library at the moment, we've got our icons with our text to say the name of that file folder. Actually though, we may just want to have the icons without any file names there, or we may actually want to reduce the size of those icons. So if we have a large number of files in our library, we can see those all on one screen without having to scroll down. Again, we may actually want to have the file names with those small icons so we can see the names of those files. We can also search within our library. So here I will start from our library homepage, and we can search for example, a part called ring. If we hit enter on there, and we can see we get 14 hits for ring there. If I just go back to our library, if I select our start objects, and I now select search, again I'll search for ring, and you can see now I only get the 2 hits for that ring. That's because the search will search from the file folder that you're currently accessing. So for example, if you're on the home page of the library, it will search your entire file folder structure, and the more you drill down into that structure, the narrower your search will become. So our Strtup Tools library has a clear graphical interface that allows us to easily navigate through our file folders. It's going to allow us to search through our files and quickly access our files we want to use. It helps us organise that data, and also it allows us to be able to configure parts and rework them very quickly.